She looked beautiful, didn't she? She fine. I was like, who's the parents of her?
Now we're all lined up about to start the ceremony. And we had a violinist there, and it was pretty cool how that worked out. I believe she went to school with my dad. He went to Locke High School, um, and they're really big. Like their music program or department was like really big. A lot of celebrities like came out of that. But she is a celebrity violinist. Like she's performed for a lot of people, and like um, she honestly, like she volunteered to play the violin at our wedding, and I thought that was so sweet and so kind. But I was excited because I know AJ loves the violin. So the plan was to have the violinist playing before it's time for my dad to walk me down the aisle and before AJ comes out as well.
And I hear the violin, which signals to me that the procession is starting. But then I hear our wedding song, the one in which Jordan is supposed to walk out to immediately after the violin starts playing. And that's not part of the the ceremony. That wasn't a part of the rehearsal. So I opened the door thinking it's time for me to come out. And apparently somebody, we're not going to say any names,
Charles, excuse me.
cued the music at the wrong time.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry about my face getting kind of, you know, almost set my Christianity down. I wanted to swing on somebody.
So they had to hurry up and cut it off. I had to hurry up and go back in the house because nobody knew where I was and I didn't want to reveal my position yet. And again, the violin starts playing, and now we're back on schedule.
I didn't realize we were on time. I thought we were behind time. But that was another beautiful thing. This way everything flowed. God was in this.
Like the production part of me was a little upset because I wanted to go outside and like fix it myself because I'm so used to being behind the scenes. But the order of the procession I thought was like really special. Our moms walking out together, that was really special to me.
It had the mother of the bride walking in with the mother of the groom. You couldn't write something better. I mean, come on. Bonded, right? Walking in together. Um, symbolic. Symbolic of what was about to happen. Their son and their daughter were about to do the same thing. Walk together as one.
It was one of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen. It was something that was one of my only requests for the ceremony is that I wanted them to come down the aisle together.
To be able to walk with Cheryl, mother of the bride, mother of the groom. I'd never seen that done before. And I thought, man, this is so amazing because our families have come together.
That was very special. Us coming together, not being escorted by anyone else, but us coming down, united together.
Because we've been together for 7 years. It's not like our moms are strangers. It's not like we just started dating. It's not like, like it's not like unfamiliar territory for all of us to be sharing space. And I think that like seeing them walking together and them wanting to walk together, I thought was very beautiful. But anyway, it was our siblings, and I thought that was cool too, because our siblings actually are pretty similar in personality, whether they see it or not. But I noticed a similarity, so I felt like it was fun seeing them walk down the aisle together. I think they both looked great. I loved Destiny's hair and her dress, and I loved Dion's suits, although I was also there to help pick that out. That's why I loved it so much. But I think they did a great job with his suit, like even the tailoring, like all of that. He looks so fresh and so put together. I just loved it. And then River, little River, she was so excited to be Flower Girl. And I made her a junior bridesmaid because she is 10. She's 10 going on 13. And I was like, she's more mature than just a young little flower girl. She's been a flower girl so many times. So I wanted her to feel super special. So I made her a junior bridesmaid, which is why like she was also the flower girl, but was also going to be standing up there. I wanted her to be up there during the ceremony, like standing behind me as well with my sister. We were back there waiting for the song to start. And when it started appropriately, I heard like an applause. I knew AJ had come out right when he was supposed to.
And then they started clapping. And that and that really was hilarious to me because I didn't expect anyone to like give a round of applause as I came out to take my place on the altar. But it put a big smile on my face, and whatever angst or just nerves just walking out for the ceremony went away instantly. It didn't feel much, but it made it really fun walking out. We started out with some humor.
So when my dad and I are about to walk down, I realized I couldn't walk in my dress at all. Like I was supposed to hold my bouquet and have my arm around my dad or underneath his arm. And I was like, I can't walk. I told my dad, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't walk. Like I have no idea how I'm gonna make it all the way down the aisle.
Her dress. Yeah. And her shoe weren't getting along. So without any hesitation, she shifted her flower thing over to this hand, which normally would have been there, and it would just been her hand. She shifted it there and she put the other hand down and control her dress. Now, this girl, game, it's like game time. You make adjustments, keep it moving. Nobody noticed that. And she was just flowing down the middle aisle, grass and heels going in the ground. I'm so glad I don't wear heels. I tell you, man, it would have been crazy.
Once my dad and I came to the front of the aisle and I saw AJ standing up there, and I don't know if he couldn't see my eyes probably because I had the veil over my face, but I can see him and I felt like I saw his expression of like, he looked like he was in awe. And that was honestly the best moment for me.
And immediately my head drops because I'm like, wow, like I've never seen her like this. Her dress was beautiful. Her veil was beautiful. Her hair looked amazing. I just was in disbelief that this was really happening. The visual of seeing your soon to be wife standing at the altar, ready to come and take her place at the front to make our union official is a visual that I'll never be able to get out of my mind ever again. That's something that I will cherish forever. And that's one of the best moments of my life.
Seeing his expression before I came down the aisle, I think was one of my favorite parts of the whole day. Before that, I wasn't looking too much to the left and right because I more so was trying to focus on making it to the end of the aisle. But I was able to catch people's eyes and people were already crying. And I was like, Jordan, please don't cry. Just make it up there without crying. But seeing how many people were there and it was a full house. I think we didn't even have enough chairs for everyone. That's how many people were there.
Y'all had a packed, they really had a packed house in there. AJ and Jordan definitely had a packed house. Me personally, I didn't know AJ knew that many people.
And then once we got to the end of the aisle, my dad and I didn't know, we didn't really practice in detail the rest of this. We kind of just knew generally how it was supposed to go. So my dad got up there, that's when our officiant asked who gives the bride away. And it was funny, my dad said,
I do. And he turns and looks at Mrs. Lights and says, and my wife. And everybody just starts laughing because it was hilarious. Mrs. Lights, he's like, yeah, me. Yeah, both of us gave it, giving her away.
I felt like, and I feel this with the moms, period, when it's time to give their daughter away, they should be included because it's a very special time. Because, I know it's special for the dad, but you think about the mom, especially for the mom too. So that's why I had to put my 2 cents in and say, hey, what about me? It's twofold. I'm giving her away also.
I'm a smart husband. Yeah.
But then from there, seeing AJ and my dad, they had this moment where they did a little guy hand clap thing with a hug. I don't know what it's called, but but that moment, and my dad said something to him. I have no idea what he said.
I don't remember exactly what I said to AJ when we got there and asked, who gives this woman away, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to say something really, I know I didn't say something really silly like I want a hat like yours. I know I didn't say that. I didn't say that, but
But I'm sure it was something kind because my dad loves AJ.
He just let me know how much he loved me and how much he was proud of me. And that really meant a lot because I know that he means it. He's been a second father to me for the last 8 years of my life. Been there for me, to answer any and every question I've had. Always been there to provide support in any way that I need, and has really always embraced me as a part of the family. So now it's time to look at Jordan. She has the veil, so I can't see her face. And I'm ready to see. I'm ready to see my bride's face. To be honest, I want to see what she looks like. I want to see the makeup. Charm, who's a phenomenal makeup artist. I knew that Charm was going to kill it, but I just wanted to see exactly what it looked like. And as I start to peel back her veil to reveal her face, I mean, my stomach dropped when I saw her because she looked so beautiful. She looked beautiful. And I mean, Jordan is the most beautiful girl that I have ever known. And on that day, she looked even more beautiful than I'm accustomed to, which is something that I thought was very, very difficult to accomplish because she looks beautiful on a day-to-day basis. But that makeup, her whole smile, right? She had the biggest smile when her face got revealed.
It was sweet. It's almost like he couldn't wait to see my face. That's how it felt. I don't know if that's really what was going on in his head.
I'm just in disbelief at this moment. I'm like, wow, this is really happening. This is really my life.
So I wrote my vows, I want to say like around midnight the night before the wedding. And I was struggling, not really to write them, but I think I wanted to make sure like it wasn't too long or too short. But something really just told me was just like right from the heart, you know? And I knew that not everyone at the wedding was aware um of like AJ and I's journey leading up to the wedding. But in my vows, like I actually wanted to talk more about like the journey we've already had because I felt like, in vows, like you promise, I vowed to be with you, sickness through health, rich or poor, all that. But I feel like he and I have already lived through a lot of that already. Like over the past 7, going on 8 years, we've seen sickness, like we've seen health, we've seen, abundance, and we've seen, like less abundance, like we've experienced so many like phases already together. So I think that's one reason why I also wasn't nervous. But in writing my vows, I wanted to kind of like pay homage to our journey. And it's not like we are starting with a clean slate. Like I don't want to start with a clean slate. I want to take everything we experienced together, up until that point and build upon it.
I did not write my vows until about an hour before our ceremony. Um, it wasn't because I was, disinterested or didn't know what to say or anything like that. It's just I've thought so much about Jordan and how I feel about her. I knew the words were there. I didn't have to I didn't have to think very hard about what I wanted to say to her in our vows. The only thing I was concerned about was making sure that I didn't come off as inauthentic. I tend to write in like a very like poetic style for some reason, and I don't really understand why. But I didn't want it to be distracting. I didn't want it to be inauthentic. So I did my best to be concise, and to be efficient with what I wanted to say to Jordan, because really I only wanted to say one thing, and that was that I'm going to be here in this life, the next life, and the life after that.
I feel really good about my vows. I think that I hope he frames my vows or holds on to them or, or something. Cause I really I've felt I really meant everything that I said, and it really came from the heart. And I wrote it in one draft. I wasn't like I was like, this is it. This is from my heart, and it gets no more raw than this. This is like true Jordan. um, one day if he ever irritates me at some point, maybe I'll read them. You know what I mean? I'll read them out loud. If he gets mad at me, he's like, "Remember, I'm your best friend. I'm your queen, and I'm and I'm your angel. Don't be mad at me." I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep them for something like that. But I really loved his vows. And like I said, he's so good with his words. I want to actually hear him recite his vows to me maybe like once a month. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe like we'll have a really special date night where I make him say his vows to me or something. I don't know. I'll do the same for him if he requests it. I'll memorize them and recite them to him before he goes to sleep if he really wants me to, because I love him that much. But it was time for the rings. I'm like, okay, cool, got the vows done. I was like, now it's to the fun part, get the rings. It's gonna be quick and easy. And then it wasn't.
I had it in my pocket. We practiced this.
So Dion had the rings. He was responsible for the rings. I honestly wasn't sure if like my sister had AJ's ring and then Dion had my ring. I wasn't really sure like how that was happening. But when Patrick, our officiant, said, okay, like it's time for the rings, I see Dion like reaching. I looked back at my sister, but she didn't have it. So I was like, okay, it's Dion, cool. So I was like, Dion's responsible. Like, this is easy.
I like pushed it in as far as I could go. And then right when it was time to bring it out, I couldn't get my hand in there. And so I was trying to do it with like 3 fingers. I was trying to get it out and it just wasn't coming out. So I was like, oh, now it's stuck in there. And I was like, great, everybody's looking at me. Like, I'm holding up the wedding now.
He was like reaching in that pocket for so long, and I can see the panic on his face. He looked so like concerned that he wouldn't be able to get it out.
Oh God, it was so bad. But I mean, everybody thought it was funny, so that's what made it better.
But he was able to get those rings out. It just took a minute.
Dion, I love you, bro. It's all good. You did your best. And the point is, I got my ring, man. So that's all that matters. That's all that matters. We exchanged our rings, and the only thing left to do in the ceremony is to say I do and have our first kiss and be presented now as Mr. and Mrs. Anthony and Jordan Fortier. And I didn't I didn't have any hesitation when Patrick was asking me about whether or not I take Jordan to be my lawfully wedded wife or whatever it is. I couldn't say I do fast enough. It was the most confident I do I think you probably would have ever heard at a wedding. So much so that it made people laugh. And Jordan the same. Jordan was ready. We're like, let's get this thing done because we're ready to go and we're hungry as hell. So let's hurry up and get to this food at the reception. I do, I do, I do. How many times you need me to say it? Right? And obviously we say I do, and Patrick tells me I can now kiss my bride. Now, I wanted to do a very, very sensual and erotic, intimate kiss for our first kiss. And I went in with those intentions. Let me tell you, I went in with those intentions. Tried to slip a little tongue in there. However, I was met with Jordan's teeth because she kissed me once and she started smiling and laughing because I guess she was happy and excited. But she didn't get the cue that I was trying to go deep with this kiss, so I let it slide. It's all good. But but it was a beautiful kiss, nevertheless. Nevertheless, it was a wonderful first kiss. And we turned to the audience, and now Patrick presents Mr. and Mrs. Anthony Joseph Fortier. And I didn't expect it, but as soon as he finished saying that, immediately, like I felt a sensation in my body. And it wasn't something like anxiety or like negative or, even like I don't know, how to really describe it. In the moment, it felt like I had just put like armor on, if that makes sense. Like the moment that it was official that Jordan is now my wife and it's AJ and Jordan Fortier, it's almost like it's time for me to prepare for battle, for me to become the protector, for me to become the general, for me to become the commander. And that was an incredible feeling. I didn't expect it, but that's how I knew I was ready for this moment. It was an unbelievable experience. And we made our way down the aisle, and the only thing I could think about, obviously we have the music, and Anthony Hamilton is playing, and we're kind of vibing down the aisle, but I wanted to stop for a second because I want everybody to see my wife. Like, this is my wife now. This is not just Jordan, my fiance. This is not Jordan, my girlfriend. This is Jordan, Mrs. Fortier. Everybody take a look, please. Everybody take a look. This is her, right? And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. We took pause, posed for some pictures, and then made our way outside. And that was that. It was one of the best moments of my life.